And you're gonna promote me?
Yep, as soon as you pop up, let's see who's here. Oops, come on. There you are. Oh, you're both here.
Giselle should be there, join as panelists. Very good. All right. All right, calling to order the September 8th Conservation Commission meeting. First up is roll call.
Tom Olson, member.
Ms. Dante, member.
Larry Dunn, chair.
Ann Schmidt, member.
Ray Rafferty, vice chair.
Michelle Fitzpatrick, secretary.
And out
Giselle
there-
Malloy, member.
Good job, Giselle.
Okay. So we're all here.
Big committee here.
All right. First order of business, approval of minutes. So it is in the agenda.
I move we approve them as presented. Second.
Are there any discussions, corrections? That looked okay to me. All right. So without objections, the minutes are approved.
Got it.
Next is public communications. We have the public.
Not on film, but can you hear me?
Yep.
Am I good?
Yeah, if you can just state your name before you start, please.
My name's Miranda Krause. I'm live at 18 Ocean View Avenue, and I just came to say a couple things about the POCD, because I know you guys are all involved in that. And I wrote a letter, but I was gonna send it, but I just wrote it, so I didn't have one.
If you want to give it to me at the end, I can upload it and send it to the. Okay, yep.
So I'll just read from the letter. I'm not great at this speaking. Dear Chair Dunn and members of the Conservation Commission. As you well know, our new Groton POCD processes appear to be moving along. And there's been a repeatedly stated goal by some of the powers that be to seek inclusive input in developing the next version of this guiding document, which will serve us for the next decade. I believe that this particular POCD may likely have consequential and enduring effects on the people, places, and environment in Groton for generations to come. I'm writing to ask that your body insists that the C in POCD is fully and equally considered and included as this plan takes shape. In my observation, it has appeared that through this process, there has been more focused discussion and prioritizing around the aspects of the D in POCD. Conservation is not only about the care and health of our trails and forests, wetlands, ocean, and air. It's also about the vital value of all our public lands and town-held resources for our overall quality of life, community connections, and public health. It is fully vetting and understanding the complete impact of how the permanent loss or removal of public land and resources can affect our townspeople and environment, both in the short and long term. While I'm aware that the Planning and Zoning Commission was named and has been serving as the steering entity for the POCD, I recall that the Conservation Commission and Economic Development Commission were supposed to be meeting and collaborating jointly with the PZC to make letters and POCD discussions. I hope that this will still be the case, though I have not yet seen those meetings or agendas listed. I could be wrong, but I just haven't seen. I also hope that in this process, other recent studies and documents based on extensive public input, such as the Parks and Rec Needs Assessment and Master Plan, the Athletic Fields Task Force, the Open Space Conservation Plan will be included. Additionally, our Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights and other recent town assessments around trails, roads, walkability and bikeways, traffic infrastructure, climate resiliency, trees and flora, pollution, flooding, schools, education needs, and public health, both now and in the future, should be fully included in the development of the POCD. Thanks for lending your experience and expertise in serving on the Conservation Commission. I'm grateful for your collective knowledge and advocacy for Groton.
Thank you.
A couple copies.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks. I'm gonna hold one on to you. Or listen at.
Do you want me to answer one thing for you? So, and we're gonna talk about this later. You all have been invited to this, but there is a joint commission meeting coming up on September 16th. All right, so that's actually gonna be in person and on Zoom, so you can watch it or you can come or anything like that. So that is coming up.
Listened before and
We did have one in the past
That's
as
the
well.
second one.
Wait, this is
Yeah.
gonna be the second one, yeah.
Yeah.
And there, and this is gonna be brought up before, and I have some other stuff for you when we get to that, but,
Okay.
there is a new, calendar that should be up on the Greater Groton site. If it's not up
It
today,
is
is up. All right, good. So I'm gonna give you, I have a copy for all of you. But all of the, there's a lot of events coming up in terms of listening sessions and stuff like that coming up. So everything's on there. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, all right, so we will get to that topic. And she said, we've said, keep the C in the P O C D. Or in the project 2035.
Groton 2035.
Groton.
There's no C in any of it.
I know there-
So there's no.
there's no D in it either.
Yeah.
See? Aha.
Ah,
Good, you got it.
okay. Any other public out there?
I do not
Nope.
see anyone in the virtual audience.
Okay, so the next item of business is the report of chair.
Wait a minute, you've got something else listed under public communications.
Nope, that was.
Wolfbrook Forest Management Plan presentation.
Hmm, no.
I'm looking at the August meeting. now.
Okay, I'm like, wait, what?
Come on, stay with us.
Well, I thought I had today's open. Heck,
Okay,
I read today's.
may I now go forward?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So report of chair. Okay, first of all and foremost is that I'm pleased to announce that we had 4 renewals for 4 years of the members of this council. And Michelle, Giselle, myself, and yourself. So that's more than, that's a quorum. Hey, so we're sure to have a quorum for at least 4 years. So thank you for all that. And so but we should have gotten a letter, no?
I did, yes.
Yeah, everyone
Okay.
should have got a letter.
Before,
Yeah, I think I'm with her.
yeah, we're a separate roster.
Class.
Yeah.
I'm
Giselle,
sorry, it was
you-
Ann,
Giselle,
Michelle,
Yeah.
Giselle, with myself. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm the one. Yeah, it was the last one. Okay. All right, so that one. I did mention in the last meeting of the Stonington flood study to be presented on September 4th. I was hoping to share that here, but they haven't yet published it. So, so I will keep my eye open for that presentation. One of the things is I was asked, I guess, a deep recommendations or support for Parks and Rec. I did send that out and it is in the agenda package, correct?
Correct.
Yep, okay, so that was done. There is also in the agenda a planning for professionals education, which is, yeah, it's not directly because we're a advisory group, not a
Right.
regulatory group.
The Dear Fellows Planners letter thing?
Yes,
It's in-
yes, dear fellow planners, yep.
Yep. So, but it's still there if you are interested, right, to participate and take advantage of that. If anybody's interested, I got a book yay thick on zoning. From my time on the Knowing Zoning Commission. One of the homework items was reviewing the Project 25 presentation. I did review that. I have some comments on it, but that's later in the agenda. So we will get to that. I participated with Michelle and Tom with Parks and Rec, and I'll let you guys talk to that when we get to that point. One of the follow-ups from the last meeting was actually, that was from the Parks and Rec meeting, was to reach out to District 4 RTM members. I did do that. I sent out I thought it was a nice letter. I don't know. I have not gotten any response. So I will go out with a reminder. And for any RTM District 4 members listening in, I was expecting a response. whether you're not going to participate or you would like to participate. But I think a response would be good citizenship.
I'd just like to
Okay,
comment on that particular.
yeah.
I know I listened on the last town council meeting last Tuesday, and they said that what the RTM reported, and I think they're short 3 or 4 RTM members from that district.
You know, right,
The
they
least
sent it to the ones that were,
representative.
but there were still five
Yeah, some 5 or 6.
or six
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
So I mean, so yeah, there was a number of openings, but there's still 5 or 6 folks.
Yep.
So we just wanted one per each of the pilot programs, which I guess we'll get to that when we talk about what I meant by that statement. Hold on, let me. That. Okay. That ends my report, so we'll go around to report of commission. So let's pick up Michelle, and maybe you can start with the Parks and
Sure.
Rec meeting.
Well, yeah, the Parks and Rec, the results of it fit under part of the agenda. So yes, we had the meeting. We'll discuss it in the appropriate place in the agenda. And then I also met with Jen Pagic about another one of the projects, which I will also talk about at that part of the agenda. So other than the things that are in the agenda, I do not have anything extra.
Okay. Right.
Just mentioned that the community conversations about, in August, in regards
Oh,
to,
yeah, did that too.
yep, your understanding your flood risk.
Yep.
I and
Oh, yeah.
a lot of the members of,
I attended that as well.
Yeah.
yes, you did. So there were lots of us there. Dave was there helping out. I thought it was a good idea. I didn't think it was overly packed with people.
No, we did a massive mailing for it, and we were hoping to get a better turnout for it. So, but and we actually had more. We basically, the amount of people that RSVP'd is about how many people we had. So, yeah, we were hoping for more. We were, because I think,
It was a good topic.
No,
Yeah.
it was I thought
Yeah.
it was informative. I mean,
I've been planning this for like 2 years. So yeah, because then try to fit it in amongst all the other community conversations. So this one, I'm like, as you know, I'm the floodplain manager, so this stuff is really important. And I got to tell you, the several people that I sat down with, a couple of them had no idea they were in the flood zone. So that in itself is, and that was the whole purpose. Is I think a lot of people do not consider flood insurance, and they don't even realize where they live. They do, but they don't realize they're in a flood zone. And it's becoming, as you know, like talking about rain before the meeting, we're getting these massive torrential and
it's the rains, not necessarily see.
Yeah, yep.
Rising.
Yeah, that's the stuff that's impacting us more on a frequent basis than the actual like coastal storms. So, yep.
I was, they didn't really say much though about getting the insurance and what it actually costs.
Well, we absolutely did. So when you sat down with someone, right?
Yes.
With me?
Nope.
No, you didn't say me. And they filled out that card, right?
Yep.
On the backside, you take, like, we can't disclose what it's going to cost you for flood insurance, but that QR code in the back, you take a picture of that with a phone, and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to go through. You put in your house address in there, and it will actually give you a quote at the end where you can then call your insurance company and says, I just got a quote online, and it's the same exact cost. So they're going to honor that cost for it. So it gives you a ballpark figure. So if whether you're in the flood zone or not, it gives you a baseline of where to start with. So that was the purpose. We like I said, we can't disclose what it's going to cost. We can say, okay, you're in the VE zone,
Right.
and your house is built below base flood elevation. You're going to pay a lot. You're going to pay thousands of dollars. You're outside the X zone. You're probably going to pay a few $100s over the course of the year. So those are the only ballpark figures that we can give. But this is a new tool that came out, think about a year and a half ago, and it's really good because, again, most people, they just don't think about flooding until it's too late. Yeah, I got water in my basement, and oh, what do you mean? I'm not covered by homeowners insurance? And it's like, and so that this at least gives you and again, it's that whole understanding your risk. Other people have different, tolerances for that. So there's only so much that you can say about flood insurance, except for you should consider it.
And I did use, Deb gave me the thing and I did process it. Oh, it worked fine.
Yeah.
Came $892
Yeah.
for my house.
On top of a hill.
Yeah.
No kidding. Just let you know. I don't mind disclosing my number.
Is that, at the moment, are those cards still available or
Yeah.
being that QR code?
Yeah, I can get you. 'Em.
Um,
You lose your card, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's fine. I can get your card.
Yeah.
I can give anyone that wasn't there a card if you don't have one too. So absolutely. Remind me after the meeting, I'll get you one.
okay, thanks.
I also attended the flooding community conversation. I also thought it was really good. Downloaded the app and I will report any flooded areas I see, which happens frequently as we
Yes.
walk down Willow Point. I attended a brainstorming session on topics related to the environment for the next legislative session with Representative Baumgardner and a few other Groton residents, Groton Stonington residents. So some of the topics that came up were waste management, especially getting organics out, single-use plastics, data center regulation, decommissioning of millstone, elimination of caps on solar, and more renewable energy. So that was just in the initial kind of stage. And if anyone's interested in participating in any of those, I can let you know when they're happening. I'll be taking part in we have the 3 commission meeting on the 16th, the Mystic River Alliance meeting that will be here actually on the 23rd. I think John Reiner's hosting that one, and the climate action for Groton on the 18th of September. I'm also on a committee that's trying to get a environmental panel with students at UConn, Avery Point,
Oh, nice.
for November 11th. And as that flushes out more, I can also put that in the, maybe in the agenda for next time.
Sure.
Hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
And not much to report.
But,
Well,
your
Parlay
Gambino,
Beautiful, beautiful
Okay.
grandchild, sold the house, moved, stuff. Moved 2 households, but, I did touch base with Jason regarding is soon will be the, first meeting for the next Eco Fair. And touch base with GCA and soon they'll kind of be ramping up again when everybody's back from all their.
all the vacations
Person,
and things,
yeah.
in France or wherever they've been.
Yeah.
Tom?
And as far as in the agenda here, I'm on page 8, we've got the thing about in the September 10th Community Renewable Energy Siting Tool. I've signed up for that. I'll be attending that tomorrow on Wednesday. Thames River Basin Partnership. I'm going to their annual meeting of the ECCD in Waterford on Friday. I'll be there. They're actually gonna honor me. I'm gonna be one of the honorees there for the support for Baker Cove stuff. And then we saw the Baker Cove cleanup, Birch Plain paddle cleanup. This was a report that I made to the ECCD. And then we were supposed to have, Tabitha and folks here, Public Works, Michelle, was trying to get a second cleanup lined up, okay? Through these, Save the Sound folks, but that all kind of fell apart because when I went back because they asked me to go back and review the stuff, what didn't get done, so you can know what to focus in on this next group. I said, stuff's all overgrown. The time to do this at this time of year in September is just a waste of time because you're missing 3/4 of the stuff. And so they basically agreed to go back to Esker Point area and do something, a beach area where you don't have all the invasive plant growth and all the rest of the stuff. But that said, and so I went back and took a look at the Mumford Cove area, okay? And I actually did because I looked at what this sound was doing in different areas, and that was kind of excluded. There's stuff at Bluff Point and at Esker Point, but they didn't go into the Mumford Cove area. So I worked with some folks that live in Mumford Cove, and I got a pass to get in, and I did a similar paddle thing earlier late last month. And reported all that through the Save the Sound. And did a cleanup there. So, they're doing these paddle cleanup things.
You need a pass? I just paddle up the chain.
Well, no, I don't wanna be, if I'm not gonna wanna paddle all that stuff, all the garbage out of.
Oh, no.
So
Yes,
that's
yeah.
how I got a pass to get onto their beach there
Right.
and did the
That's
the
good.
whole Mumford Cove. Up to this, where the line is between Groton Long Point and the state stuff. So, but I found a lot of stuff and collected it all, and so it did a similar thing with them. And let's see if there's any of this. Yeah, I think that's about all that I've got.
I like the wildlife pictures in your paddle thing.
Oh, yeah.
The one cormorant looked like it might be dead. I might have.
It was dead.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yes, that's how I was
I
reporting
thought it was dead too. like-
It's dead, that's-
It's a
Okay.
dead cormorant.
Well, he was sure
How
dead
far up
cormorant.
the Birch Plain Creek did you get where that nice shot of the Phragmites that all of a sudden you ran into the wall?
Well, yeah, that's all, that's at the north end, it's fine, I geolocated it on here, but it's pretty much right where the, cause it's all on the Joel property, but it's pretty much, where the, town property from the, Thames River Magnet School, it comes in, it's about there, just slightly.
So is it as high as EB parking lot?
No, it's Fairmati's from that location, the entire way up to the EB parking lot. So I couldn't even blast through there. It was just too thick. I couldn't even see
Right.
where the water, you can see where the water's there, but it all looks the same. There's really no path,
Right.
and there's been so much silt growth and stuff that you really just can't paddle through there. And it's deep enough also that it's really, it's like really crappy to try to get through there. Now, at the EB parking lot, you can come in from that end because it's still a flowing stream in that area. Because that's where the washer and dryer is still there. I keep harassing I went back in late August. I mean, it was down. If I had gotten some stuff and, it weighs more than I can handle myself, and trying to get it up, I need some help. And these guys, a couple of guys from Parks and Rec, I sent it to Tabitha, said, hey, this is the lowest water level of the year, guys, and it only takes an hour to pull this stuff out, so. And I don't think nothing's happened with it yet, so. It's a Parks and Rec thing, it's purely on town property, and they acknowledge that it's theirs to yank out. So,
Right.
right, that's all I got.
You?
Giselle.
Giselle,
Oh, I forgot, I'm sorry, I forgot our remote.
put a picture up there so we know. she's-
No, she'll pop up when she talks.
Hi, guys. So can you hear me?
Yeah, her video.
Yes.
Her video's off anyways. Yep, we can hear you. Go
You're
ahead.
on.
Oh, there she is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I'm at UConn right now. Sorry. Let me pull up some notes. Well, most of them are going to be research stuff that I was looking into. So I would go into like the tree advisory a little bit later. Not gonna lie, I couldn't really do anything this month. I did, and if anyone else is interested, I am volunteering on October 11th with the Nature Conservancy to plant some trees at the Four Corners in Groton City. There's also another one happening September 27th, I believe. I'd have to look at that date, but I can't make that one. But they are doing it on October 11th. So if anyone else is interested, just let me know and I can give you that QR code to sign up. But, oh, the CT Deep, I've gotten nowhere with them. I feel like I said it before, I'm kind of giving up right now. I'm just going to wait until they release the 2025 plan. I will review it. If I have any concerns, questions, I will try and reach out, but my patience is gone with CT Deep a little bit right now. But as of right now, that's all I have.
Good. Thank you. Old business, open space inventory. I do not believe we have any updates.
I have not heard anything from the CCOG folks. If they came in, no, I haven't worked with Noah, asked him anything lately. If they've contacted him directly, but otherwise I don't have any other changes.
In open space planning, the Wolfbrook action plan is a pilot. So, I mean, this is a little bit from the meeting. So you want to mention that now, or
I'm not sure what you're talking about,
the Wolfbrook
right?
Parks and Rec action plan?
I thought that came under stewardship.
Well, it's under either one. We
I
could
think
do
the
it.
discussion belongs under steward.
We could do that under.
It's, the only thing I have under open space planning, okay, is that I did get communications from Groton Open Space Association that they got tagged to respond as far as their interest in the golf course again. We talked last year, this time we
Yep.
issued a letter, you know, that I did because of the question I received from Mr. Baumgart, from Representative Baumgartner. They got tagged as, are you interested in purchasing this? And so the Groton Open Space people copied me on the information. I replied to them just for information as far as I gave them a copy of our memorandum that was from the minutes from October last year, as well as my communications with the real estate agent back in March when I was setting up the cleanup. We're getting permission to be on the property and stuff. And I did relate to them that and what Groton Open Space basically responded. This included, I mean, there's including Amy Patterson from CLCC and a bunch of people around this email. Was that you know, that they've been monitoring it, that they strongly encourage the town to continue pursuing it because of the potential for because of the flat areas for the fields and that type of stuff. But, and that they, and as far as their current understanding right now is when they researched it, that it has come off the market again. Now, I haven't seen the signs come down there, but if you go online, it's not showing up. And the real estate agents, Buena Vista real estate agent, it's not, I went to their website today and it's not included in their website anymore. So I don't know if it came off the market or whatever, but it's kind of interesting as far as you know, there's been some movement, but not in the right direction. But it goes back to, at least it's being held as farmland under
Yes,
PA 490.
I'm saying I'm not sure that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's interesting. Groton 2035. So, well, we had the letter from the public from Marina, but the first consultant report was released, and it's not in here, right? No, what? No.
Nope.
All right, but
It's
but
TH, yeah.
it's referenced and it's available. I did say to go through it. I did go through it.
Yep.
And there's some extracts in there from us on page 24 and page 34. About, it was interesting, establish a regular schedule for Parks and Rec Department to meet with the Conservation Commission, and it was on stewardship. So the actions, which I support, did have I wouldn't say a focus, but certainly had highlighted the need for stewardship of the lands we had. So I'm glad that the consultant picked that up from our concerns and put it in there. Now, for each of the schedule, is the schedule in here?
No, it's not, because it hadn't been really, it just got published.
Okay, because I saw it in an email.
For this one, well, I'm gonna give it to you now if you all want
Okay.
it to. I have a copy for it because it just came out and it hadn't been officially published on
Okay.
Groton yet,
I
so
got an unofficial, okay.
you got an unofficial copy.
Right, so there
Is
is
this one for everybody?
Yep.
set of meetings, and there is a joint P and Z, ECD and conservation meeting coming up in,
Pass them along, Larry.
I'm looking at it,
Yeah, well, look at your copy and give us the rest of them.
hold your horses. You really are getting feisty.
Oh, man,
Yes,
I've been
Sitting next to her, you setting me up here. I'm gonna get bitten first.
Now, is that, let's see, is that the 29th? No, there it is.
No.
It's September 16th one.
Yep.
So September
There's nothing in
16th
the air.
is, and you'll see it as a special meeting.
Yep.
That Dave has put in the calendar. And that means for the tri-commission, I guess is. we should
Sure,
call
whatever
it,
you want to call it, I guess.
to have that. Do we have the objectives and the content of what that meeting is gonna be? Or how that's gonna run?
No, not yet, because the agenda is being finalized right now, so that's why it's not there. I'm thinking it's, well, you'll get it as part of,
Probably on Thursday.
yeah, on Thursday, yep.
But
It's
so we
being
won't
fin-
get it before our next meeting, so.
No.
So we need to have a communication if there's any homework or preparation that we should do.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be asking a bunch of questions. I don't think you're gonna, because they would give you time for prep for that. Like you would have, like, we wouldn't send something to you on Thursday, for that date and say, here, you have, this time to work on it. We would give you a longer time period for it. We'd give you over a week if there was something that you would have to come back with.
Okay. So clearly, we're going to be at the September meeting. The other ones, quite frankly, as I look at it online, rather than,
Yeah, you don't,
since we can't say anything.
yeah, yep. And they're more for, just more background and stuff
Yeah.
like that as in the development, so.
Right. All right, so I guess we will see all you guys on the 16th.
I have a prior commitment, but I will try to Zoom for part of it.
And it will be recorded if you can't make it, obviously.
Yeah, I can't make it.
Let's see, other things.
And I should say,
Other things.
let me say one other thing, because
Yep.
there's a little bit of a crossover. But you'll see that it's basically divided up. There's 3 planning projects going on right now. So Groton 2035, which is the plan of conservation and development, the climate action plan, which the official launch will be next Thursday. There's lots of things going on, but the big things that are going on will be the first launch of the advisory committee, which Ann is the representative for the Conservation Commission, as well as Popsicles in the Park, which will be technically the official launch for that. And that's going to be at 5:30 at Pequannock Plains Park. Some of you may have already filled out the survey there's 4 mini surveys for the climate action plan. They're all available online. And basically there's some more things they're going to ask some questions there. And if you ask a question, you get a popsicle. Or you answer questions, you get a popsicle.
What flavor?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't, that's.
You know,
If I already
know
did it
that
ahead of time, I
details.
can get one?
Well, no, there's other questions for you. Tom,
Oh,
not just
other
that.
questions,
Other
okay.
Yes. And then the last project is the missing middle housing project. So they're all separate. Obviously, there is some crossover between them. So all these things will have some information on it.
This is a action-packed September.
In October is gonna be similar. There will be a bunch of more opportunities to learn and whatnot, because, obviously we are.
Running out of time.
Well, no, I mean, there's been so much background information being gathered by the public and being, and out in the community and whatnot. So this is really putting everything together and all the reporting is coming in. So there's a lot for everyone to learn.
So the overall schedule this was supposed to be done by next June?
June, yep.
Has to be approved by town council by June.
Yes, so if I back that up,
Yep.
how's that looking?
It's right now, consultant tells us we're still on time, that basically that we will, the hope is, by super early in 2026, that will basically, you'll have the entire document at that point. And probably by, I think we said by March, we'll be starting, the public hearing piece of it in order to be in time
For June,
Yep.
yeah, right, I was gonna say, it's when you start backing up.
Yep, you back. And when we've gone through the whole thing with the consultant about where we are, when we're gonna need this stuff done and whatnot. So that's what they've been working with. So
Okay.
yeah, at this point, we're still on target. It's complicated because there's other planning projects going on at the same time, but we're working through it.
All right.
Larry, one piece
Oop.
though, you had mentioned, because we're on this topic still, you had mentioned that when you reviewed the baseline report, did you have any comments or just they were more kind of general comments that you were happy that they included stewardship?
Well, it's almost like you gotta see the other stuff.
Exactly. And as I mentioned last time, this is the baseline report. This is the starting,
Right.
you know,
So,
so,
so I was happy that
Yep.
we were referenced,
yes, yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, until we see some of the other stuff,
Absolutely.
but at least it's, there's at least a C in
Yeah, yep.
OCD,
Yep.
if you excuse my
I
use
know.
of the old the state terminology.
Yes, yes.
Hmm. Okay.
This form has spelled out that way too.
But we do because that's
That's what people recognize.
but we're trying to, yes, certain people I will say a very small portion of the population recognizes POCD. And as, you know, mentioned over a year ago, like that is really why we have been pushing the Groton 2035 and we have been getting a lot more feedback, different feedback from different members of the community and stuff like that. So we do feel that what's coming out from the consultant is a lot more inclusive of the community rather than just, you know, because that, you know, you know, we can throw around acronyms like crazy and most people hear acronyms and they're already tuned out. So we're really, even though the state still uses that, we're trying to move beyond that, you know, more of a visioning thing. So yes, Giselle?
Oh, you're on
Okay,
mute.
thank you. Yep.
Okay.
I have a question on that. How, regarding the POCD, how are you getting that information out to communities? And like, I'm happy to hear that, you know, we're getting feedback, but I do talk about it with like my customers. I mention it with friends, families from neighborhoods, and they don't know exactly what that is. So I have to explain it to them and whatnot. And they're like that they don't receive no information. So I'm curious how the town of Groton like
Mhm.
like actually reaches out to people, because on my end it doesn't seem
Not
like
kidding.
people are aware.
Yep. And so we've had a bunch of events that we've hosted. We've also gone directly into the community. And so I think I mentioned this to most of you. So we had a couple fellows this summer from UNH that actually went door to door and actually did a lot of canvassing over in Pequannock Bridge, it has been the area that we never hear from, and have gotten some really good feedback about that. Everything is available on Groton 2035. We've done a lot of stuff with social media. It's hard because there's no way we're going to reach 38,000 people. And a lot of people are just not interested. They don't have the time, you know, interest, whatever, to get involved. And obviously the changes is that for the fellows alone, we tabled at 12 events this summer, which is more than ever, which is like 11 more than ever. And then we actually, they did almost a dozen canvassing days specifically out in Pequannock Bridge, of which we had not heard anything from. And that was very interesting I went out one of the days and the conversations they were great. I mean, they really were, they were very different, you know, but at least it gave another perspective out there. So that all that stuff is any comments that have come from anyone has all been kind of heard and has been, you know, collated by the Horsley Witten. So.
Well,
Awesome.
it's tough.
Thank
So I should say, Giselle, thank you for promoting it because really a lot of it is we're trying to do the best we can in terms of promotion. So I think any opportunity we can talk more about that and at least get people have feedback. I mean, there's still some opportunities, but at this point, obviously there'll be a lot of opportunity coming up in the public hearing piece of that, you know, and when the chapters are all out there. So.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying all of that.
Sure thing.
And Dave, creating an account on Greater Groton, we get emails
Yep.
now.
Yes, you do. So,
That-
and that's,
I don't know if you heard that, Giselle, but creating an account on Greater Groton website, you might want to let people know about that. because then they'll hear about events.
It is pushed out with email, yeah,
Yep.
but you gotta
Yeah.
sign up for
And
it.
then on social media, I think there's.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch on social media.
Yeah.
And with limited success, you know, I mean, it's kind of
Trying-
so, but that's why like literally there's going to be so much stuff going out that you would get 20 emails a month, you know, of everything.
Yeah.
So we're really, we've been using this, Greater Groton page for all of our projects to really get stuff out there. And there's, background videos, and you can watch commission meetings, and you can look at the chapters as they are released. You can look at the baseline report. So that really is the best way to find out the latest and greatest. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
yep. Thanks, Ann.
All right. Budget support. We are, as we said at the Parks and Rec meeting, we are pushing to do budget support and expand the budget for Parks and Rec. From a schedule point of view, I'm assuming that the departments get their input by, what, January?
It's really start thinking about it around December,
Yeah.
with really, hoping to get stuff starting, put together around January.
So my view is probably in December, we'll have a little bit more discussion, but we've been trying to prime the pump and try and get Mr. Barry to get his stuff in rather than assuming he's not gonna get anything. So that's the first effort. So which says we should schedule a meeting sometime in December with Parks and Rec again. Do we have the next meeting set up with them?
I think we told Tabitha to let us know when she's made some progress,
Yeah.
so.
That's a note to self, is that if we don't hear from them, let's do something in December, because that then at least we can discuss the budget. Push our budget objectives. Okay. Vacant land support.
All right, well.
Anything from staff?
Oh, I got a lot.
Okay.
But there is, again, I would like to focus you all on going to Greater Groton. There is a page specifically on Pleasant Valley, and there's a massive update there in terms of where things are and where they are in the time frame and whatnot. So I can just skip through a little of this, but and if you want, I can also send this out to you all tomorrow. That has more detail and stuff like this, but this is what I'm reading from is directly from the website. So, you probably remember or know, or most of you know, that basically the Property Sale Review Committee recommended Spinnaker. Town Council had a public hearing on June 30 and July 1st, and then at the July 8th Town Council meeting, they basically finalized Spinnaker as the preferred development team. So right now, with that approval, next steps include finalizing the draft terms of purchase and sale agreement between the town and Spinnaker. This is going to guide the project through completion and ensures the project is completed as agreed upon. The draft terms are based on the priorities that were set forth by the town council for the project and have been identified through the request for proposals, property sale review committee process, public hearings, and town council. These include, but are not limited to, a mix of market rate and affordable, publicly accessible park space, and will finalize any potential incentives. Basically, they're anticipating the draft terms for purchase and sale will begin sometime in September, October. Initial meetings will be executive session to allow the town the strongest position possible for negotiating the final terms. And then that'll go through basically after that, then you start going through the rest of the process in terms of finalizing the project concept design, presenting that to the council, and then at that point, moving through planning and zoning. So.
Do we have to resubmit our position on what we recommend be in that terms and conditions?
No, I mean, they've heard that, and I mean, you always can.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
But that's I mean, they have clearly heard what you said, but if
Okay.
you feel like you need to again, you can.
I'm just asking, is
Yeah.
it necessary? Did they in
I
fact?
don't think
do-
it's necessary.
I don't know if I don't know what's in there, so.
I guess from my question is, this for finalized terms and purchase sales agreement, okay? Who is negotiating for the town? Do you know who
Um,
those people are?
I think it's basically I don't know, actually. I'm not, it doesn't say it on there.
I know, that's my question is, if I had confidence that, for all I know, it's somebody never heard of this stuff and
Well, that's my point is that, yeah, it's how do we close the loop to make sure that, that the conservation perspective and require, at least our view of the requirements are heard.
yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, so I know we've made our position known, and it's nice to hear that they've heard it,
Yes,
but it's really, the proof is in the pudding when they actually. take it.
absolutely. And again, as mentioned, the first parts of this is gonna be an executive
The executive
session. We
session,
won't
that-
know.
Right,
Yeah.
that's, I'm kind of going,
So, but I'll send this out.
I'd just like to be able to develop a level of confidence level relative to the members of who's on the negotiation team. I guess, is that confidential also, the members of who's,
That I don't know. I just wrote that down as a note.
okay.
don't-
Doesn't seem like it ought to be confidential. It's supposedly transparent government we have here.
What? I think that's an
Yeah,
oxymoron.
well, no, you gotta be careful, because although the members of the committee should not be confidential, there may be a restriction on discussing with them.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, so just double, if you would
I'll
double
double check
check
it.
from the legal, because I would suspect that we can't try and influence them.
Mhm.
I mean, there's certain
There's some-
periods
yeah,
of time where we can't.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing is, so is, if the membership really, it's not somebody we've been working with, okay, like, as long as I have somebody on that team that we've been
That
working with.
Yeah,
That understands our position that we discussed with, that community development, whoever, what's her name,
Corinne.
Curran, right? She came to us and we talked, and so I have, if she's one of the negotiators, I have a higher level of confidence as far as what's
Okay,
going on.
so,
Our
yeah, so
position
this-
is.
I'll find out.
Who are they
I'll
and
talk to her tomorrow.
when could we talk, or when can we get input to that negotiating team?
She did say she said, and I know you're meeting with conservation tonight, and she's like, we have heard your position loud and clear. So we've definitely pushed that forward and.
Yeah, but that's, as long as,
Those- I understand, right?
Yeah. but if she's not one of the negotiators,
Right.
my confidence level goes down.
Okay. Connecticut College.
So I have two things. I'll save the Parks and Rec for a second because that kind of flows over into stewardship, and so it's easy there. So the other project that I worked with Jen on was the backpack project, because I wasn't confident that it was ready to actually go out into the field. So I never turned it over to the library. Part of the problem was that we couldn't edit the document they sent. And so what Jen and I decided, we're going to actually take the backpack, go to the property and see how what they did meets, works for someone actually trying to hike on the property. And then based on those results, we may recommend this as another project for the spring to take the next step to make it more user-friendly. And also to get, now one of the students that worked on it is studying abroad this fall, but the other one is here. So she may or may not join us. We haven't asked her yet. But basically my initial sense is that it needs more work, and that would be a good follow-on project for next semester students. I could be wrong once we try to use it, but just looking at it, opening us like, how is a family with young kids going to really make the most out of this? I think they made a good start, but anyway, so I'll work with Jen. We're going to wait till the colors start to change. So it's, anyway.
So it might not be until backpack 2.
Right, it may need version 2 before it goes to the library, yes. And we talked also about the projects in general, the process and some of the changes we wanted to make that we talked about. And obviously, we're gonna have the same schedule, probably December, we want to have our initial thoughts in. And obviously, the Earth Day is the top priority for all of us. But then, and a couple of follow-ons from the other projects, and then whatever new ones. So just thinking about what else, and Giselle, obviously there might be some tree things, but basically we'll at December's meeting, we'll want to have be ready to piece together all the projects. So by January, we can run it by Jen. We might even want to start discussions in November if anybody has an idea. So the second project that Tom and Larry and I met with Tabitha on was the looking at using the software for helping Parks and Rec keep track of volunteer information. And I'll actually put the details of that discussion in the stewardship piece, but in terms of the projects, during that meeting, we also asked Tabitha, say, hey, if you have any other projects you think students could help with, let us know. And she goes, because she's short staffed. So now that she knows how it all works, she's, thinking about what else we could have besides the follow-on for the stewardship project. And so she's going to think about that. And she also did agree that she'd be willing to talk to the students earlier and spend more time with them than just as advisor, to actually have discussions with them, because we, recognized from last year that we waited too long to bring staff in, but we didn't want to have staff overburdened by this. But she agreed that she'd be willing to spend more time with the students upfront to help them figure out what they're, how the two.
So that says that a December meeting with Parks and Rec should include this as another agenda item.
Absolutely, because by then hopefully she'll have some idea about that and about the next piece, which as we roll into the stewardship, I think is really encouraging that she really liked what the students came up with for the software. And she's very excited about having a next step, which is having the students, if they want that project, to help take that software and actually create the document, the reports for the volunteers to use, right? To take that next step of making it actually useful to the Parks and Rec people. And so we decided that ideally we'd want to beta test the process, since we already have, the COP property so she's going to look for someone to be the lead steward. So we sort of, the process now is following the plan, which is for each property to have a lead steward and work with that lead steward to figure out what it means to have your volunteers and how to work with them, and also figure out how that lead steward works with the staff. And the idea is to beta test this on the COP property, possibly on Wolfbrook, and possibly on one other property. But we need to get an understanding of how much staff input is required to do this kind of work. And basically to document, here's what it takes from a staff perspective to support this process, because then we can use that in the future to identify, hey, in order to do all of our properties, we're going to need X amount of staff time we're going to need maybe one whole nother staff person or whatever, but we need that documentation of what time it actually takes the staff to support the stewardship of the town properties. And so we're in the process, this having this software available was a really good starting point, because that's going to be part of the documentation, right? And so now we need to take that and expand it and we're hoping to get a lead steward for COP property before the project starts, so that we can have them as one of the consultants because they're, the property stewards are gonna be the ones using this thing, right? So have whoever the stewards are to be part of the discussion process for creating the software for the volunteer documentation, right? So it's all it's all coming together, right? And so I think it's very exciting. I'm really, really excited about that, there are college things are helping to do something that they really need to have done for the property. So I think it's exciting. And now, Larry, you said something about the Wolf. I don't really know what you wanted to talk about with the Wolfbrook plant thing.
You mentioned there was two properties that we talked about. One was
Right.
the COP and the other was Wolfbrook, as the two
Beta
pilot
testing,
programs.
pilot programs,
They
right?
tested out, and part of that, they had a.
Well established and one new.
that's new,
Right.
and then there's their plan for the new one. But it's, I guess, draft, but available. That's all I was mentioning.
Well, I don't know, is it, because it's not just
Well, it's the review, the forester review.
right, all that's,
and
yeah.
some of the-
So they need, but there's pieces. So the forester review, our plan, so they need to put together all of the pieces into one plan, and that's not available yet.
And that's not available yet, correct, yeah.
But this is, so basically test this on a well-established, well-trailed property, And then, okay, now how is this gonna work when you've got a brand new property that you're trying to set up for the first time?
Both in
Uh,
District 4.
So that's kind of where we stand with those two things, and I'm pretty excited with how it's moving along.
Okay. All right, any questions of Michelle?
Can I just ask, what was your letter about to District 4? I don't think you really.
Oh, I gave you the quick summary.
I thought
It
Michelle
says,
was
So try to-
clarify it, but.
Yeah, basically,
Sure.
we're looking for a lead steward, and Tabitha's gonna look through her stuff, and Larry was trying to use the
For,
to try to identify a lead volunteer
right.
for that
Okay.
property.
Yeah,
So
that's-
So
you
we're
identify-
looking at
It's basically what she.
different
just-
avenues to find that person.
Got it.
So, yeah, we thought the best way to engage the local community would be for the RTM members responsible for the district to sponsor a group of your
Okay.
constituents aligned with each open. space.
Yeah, and that may not be the best way,
Yeah.
but it's certainly,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, it's a way. The other way, cop property already has people involved with it, asking them if they know somebody that might be interested. So, there's
It's on the other side of, right?
lots of
Yeah.
potential ways to try to find that person, and it makes sense to try all of them. And maybe we'll come up with the person or people. I think having two people is probably a better idea than just
Yeah.
one. We'll find people that might be interested in working with the town to create that process.
All right. Open space stewardship, I guess we just talked about a lot of that, didn't we?
Well, that's why I sort of said when the break point was between the projects and the stewardship discussion.
There's that, and then we have outreach, which I guess the next major outreach would be Earth Day thing coming up.
Do we have a
next week.
date for that? I'm sure we do. Not yet?
Not that I know of. not
Okay.
yet.
We're holding preliminary discussions.
Probably right around whatever it's.
Same time.
Whatever's
yeah.
closest to Earth Day, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's close
The
to
real
Earth
Earth Day, yeah.
And then we have the tree advisory board. That would be Giselle.
Hello
What-
again.
What tree stuff do you want to talk about?
I did a little digging on some stuff, and fun fact, I'm gonna go a little bit off topic, but I think it's really cool and I want to tell everyone. So I work at Chelsea Groton Bank in the loan servicing department, and recently the CT release and recording fees went up from $60 to $70. We got a lot of complaints, per usual, with customers and clients about it and blah blah blah. I didn't know the reason why, and I actually found the reason why. Um, I found the article from Connecticut Land Conservation and Council. They just got renewed that $10 million per year for the next 2 years to preserve. Where's my notes? To support municipal and land trusts and preserve forest lands and try and rebuild the tree canopy. So every time one of my customers are going to complain to me about it, I'm going to say it's for the better good. So in case no one knew, just letting y'all know, I thought it was a real interesting topic. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. David, I have a question. Well, I have a few questions actually. I also saw in another article that I was looking into, back in June, the town of Old Saybrook, they were awarded the Urban and Community Forestry Planning Grant through CTD. Has town of Groton ever touched that? I only skimmed it. I thought it was really cool. Like, is that something that we have done in the past?
The short answer is probably. And normally like something like that would either go through Parks and Rec, or it would
Mhm.
go through our sustainability division. Like I know one of the grants, there's like a tree grant out right now.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I think that the sustainability, well, there's some changeover, and I was
Right.
going to mention this anyway. So we have a new, we have actually a new resilience
Oh, we have a
manager.
new person?
Yes, his name's Sabbath. He's going to be starting on Monday. He's comes from the city of Boston where he did a lot of resilience stuff up there. So obviously with the transition between Megan to now Sabbath, they have been looking at that grant or one of the tree grant to potentially do some work with that. And I think it is in collaboration with Parks and Rec. So it's not something directly, it's the Office of Planning and Development Service, which encompasses the 4 different divisions. Depending upon how it fits there, we would be working on it, and that would fall through normally through resilience, through the sustainability and resilience division, if we apply for it. So, but we get those, we look at them, we look at what our capacity is, we look at what projects we have coming up. But yeah, we do get notice of all those, and we do look into them.
Cool. That's good. That's good. It was just something I was like, I never heard us talk about that before, but I've only been here for like a year now. Okay, so another thing that I wrote all the notes down. Going back to my customers, I have spoken to a few, and I have gotten some concerns, and I don't know how far we as a board can go, or if we even want to like touch it, or maybe I'm missing something. But when I tell them I volunteer for the town of Groton, they're excited for me, and then they express their concerns with me. And 3 gentlemen that I was meeting with to discuss other stuff, they expressed their frustrations of aggressive tree trimming and removals by utility companies. Most likely they said Eversource and or Groton Utilities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
or the state.
or the state,
state.
or
you
the
know?
state.
And
Yes,
we don't have control over them because a
we
lot
don't.
of nope, a lot of it's for public safety. So oftentimes especially with all the storms and everything else like that. I mean, clearly we've already talked before about what happened along 95, and and Eversource and Groton Utilities are clearing pretty significantly underneath the wires that they have too as well, and it's a public safety thing. So it's not something that we control.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for just
Unfortunately.
vetting that. I know. Because they were like, "What can you do?" I'm like, I don't know if I
Not a
can do
lot.
anything.
Not a lot, yeah.
That's okay. And then this was just a question that I thought of. I know this is like with the government as well, but with the whole tree removals on state roads, does DOT, do they interact with towns about trees on state roads at all, or do they make that communication or no?
Nope, not normally. I mean, sometimes we find out, but it's very rare. They just are out there trimming. So, it's unfortunately, yep, it's
Okay.
it's a public safety thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Okay. Nope, that's okay. That's okay. So then,
Now, I should say, if it's a tree in the town's right of way, that's not on a state road or anything like that, that we obviously have a tree steward, as you know, and stuff like that, and a homeowner just can't. They have to get permission through the tree ward. So there's some that we're able to do, but a lot of the state stuff and the especially for the utility stuff is not controlled, unfortunately, by us. And most of the time, we find out after the fact that they've done the trimming. Or put it this way, our office does not find out. If anything, it would be Public Works more that would find out.
okay. Okay. Nope, thank you for that clarification. I can definitely pass that information along. Then at the moment, that's all I got.
All right, 2 questions on upcoming meetings. So the tree warden, we was gonna schedule for coming to the commission sometime in the fall. Have you settled on a time frame with him? Oh, you went back on mute.
So Larry's asking you, I think, Giselle. There you go.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that question?
It was on tap to have the tree warden come and meet with us after the summer push. I was just wondering, we're now entering the fall. Is that, have you come up with which of the months would he be available to meet with us?
I thought we were going to aim for November.
All right,
Yeah.
well, it's September.
So, okay, so you're
It's close.
recommending that I reach out to him soon,
Yeah.
like now?
I
Okay.
think so. Yeah, it's only 2 meetings away, I guess, when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
And the other thing is on the Sabbat, you said?
Sabbath. Yep.
Sabbath.
Yep.
So,
Give him,
no.
yeah, let's give him a few months to
That's
get.
what I was gonna ask.
Yes.
When would it be appropriate to introduce him to the wonderful world of conservation committee?
Let me talk with John. But I mean, he is, it's gonna take him a little bit of time to get up to speed with the grants that he's taking over.
2035
Yeah,
stuff.
and the climate action plan, he's gonna take over the climate action plan for me, so, there's I'd say give him a little bit of time, but when he starts, I'll talk with him about that we'd like to get him to come and meet the commission.
Would it be better, recognizing that he has this major work effort facing him right now, would it be better rather than taking him, having just a subgroup of us just to come to his office at some time, 1 or 2 or 3 at the most?
I think it's
Just to give
important.
him.
No, I think you all should meet him, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and the truth is, he's gonna be around, so he's definitely gonna be at the
Yeah.
18th, he's gonna probably be at the very least, he's gonna be at the 18th. So if you do come to Popsicles in the Park, he's most likely gonna be there. So there will be some opportunities over the next couple of months to meet him individually, and then we'll try to set up a time where you can all kind of meet him. You can kind of talk about, hopefully by that point,
Well, it's also planning for it to have a little bit of agenda, some topics to discuss, not just, hi, how are you?
Right,
We
yeah,
are, man. I'd like to be a bit more specific, which means there needs to be some more work done. So that.
or
we
some
can-
understanding of projects that he's taking
Yeah,
over.
right, yeah. So I'm almost thinking for us, it'd be like first quarter where we have a dump of the 2035.
Yeah, probably.
And that we'd have something substantive to talk about.
Yep.
Okay,
Sure thing.
all right. So trees in fourth quarter, sustainability in first quarter,
Yep.
Okay.
And Parks and Rec and
and Parks and Rec in December.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay. New business, did we have any on the?
Yep, dark
Dark
sky
sky.
ordinance.
I just posted what Tom had shared, and I know we talked about it last time, and we said that, at that point, the commission was looking to kind of table it, but we had a little time to explore and to have a talk, so I figured, I shared a couple things that Tom had. And if you want to have a short discussion about that, obviously, this would be something that the commission would, if this is something that you're actually looking for. So it's probably something the commission would push, I think initially probably with the council, and then, and see where it goes. We're also in the midst of elections, so it's just kind of think about timing. So, but I figured.
Well, election season, not necessarily a bad time.
I'm not saying it is. Nope, I'm not saying that
Because
at
it
all.
forces
Yep.
a position.
Yep.
To get the conservation vote.
Yep. So, but
Which is not
No, I-
not small in this town.
I don't disagree with you at all. So I just figured I put it on the agenda and, give Tom an opportunity to kind of talk a little
We
bit.
have we do have elections this year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yep.
Oh, which is an interesting.
Yes, it is. This fall will be interesting. Everything's
This is
interesting.
the October, September, or.
They're right around the corner. We have
Yeah.
like one meeting.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about people's, so no, you want to finish?
Yeah,
this
well,
up?
he's,
Okay.
put it in here.
Tee it up.
Yeah, I agree. It's ready to talk. You go into a little bit more detail. I got involved in this because I actually went by, if you paid attention over the last 4 years worth of town council meetings, there's a family over in near Big Y area there, and that streets back in there that was complaining about lighting on it. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I actually went over there to see if it's still true today. And a couple weeks ago, I went over there, and yes, this one house is just getting blasted with, literally, they've got like 4 LED type of lights that just are focused directly across the street. They got all their blinds down, but I can see that their house is fully illuminated. I took pictures, and it's just like I wouldn't say daylight, but it could be. I could see where they're coming from. and it's been this way obviously for a number of years, and they kept on harping, and they went out and got petitions for 175 people in the local area. They were all signed saying we want a light ordinance, and it went to it showed up at every month's town council meeting there. And nothing happened with it. And I know Bruce Jones was, advocating, is understanding support for her and stuff, but it didn't go anywhere. And so I got to looking at, well, does the town have an ordinance? It doesn't, but the city does have an ordinance, which is kind of strange, where you've got the city is has a lot more information than the town does in regard to what's in there. Obviously, we do have ordinance we have zoning regulations, which has guidelines for commercial areas, but not anything in the residential areas. Whereas the city does talk to some degree with the because they have it jointly for both residential and commercial, but they have a separate ordinance. It's similar as far as on what's required for the guidelines that are in the zoning regulations. But none of this has any kind of backlaw into, to solve the problem with, you got this established lighting and stuff that's been there, and because it's in residential area, there's really no rules at all.
Well, it strikes me that the light pollution has a conservation aspect
Yes,
and it has the human aspect.
Yes, right.
When you mentioned. So it seems to me that I didn't see anything about light pollution in the 2035 program.
Well, we haven't heard anything. I'm trying to think back of any of the comments that.
Yeah, well, there's nothing from what I've read.
Right.
So maybe there's a couple of approaches here. One would be to, I don't know what's the right word, alert or put forward to the consultant that we have some concerns for a bunch of different areas. And maybe the recommendation is that there should be a zoning update that addresses light pollution for both conservation and for human.
in the residential areas.
In
And there's already, there is lighting in the commercial areas.
Yeah.
Commercial and multifamily.
So I also noticed in last month's the town council meeting that that there was a lighting complaint that got brought up at the public hearing, even though now there's only 30 minutes of public discussion allowed about the light pollution up with this, where the new gas station convenience store.
No, it's Soapy Noble, the car wash.
So the car wash thing was that they did make a complaint and ended up going all the way through and stuff. And that was in the commercial zone though. So they are taking complaints and stuff that they enforce the compliance to the rules. They actually have to go back and, and actually go bang on these guys, the commercial stuff isn't as well played out as one would expect. They were getting complaints from the residential stuff for the overflow of the pollution, light pollution.
All right, so since we've been asked to provide feedback, I'm back to the 2035 program. This is something we could put into our feedback.
We could, that's a good idea.
So
There's a lot of this going on around the country because it's, particularly harmful for migratory birds.
Like I said, there's a conservation thing.
I think there's so many other problems that people are worried about, waste and all the other things that this kind of thing kind of gets to slide, but if the time is right, let's go there.
Well, like I said, it becomes an objective or something that at least it's a start to it. And I forgot it.
Yeah, and there's some big challenges even with the city one, because I did call the city, right, and talked to Scott Regan over there, and we talked one of his staffers and stuff, and I said, well, how often do you enforce this? And he's like, not really much, because basically we start off and say, hey, listen, be a good neighbor and talk to your neighbor, and for the most part they handle it like that. So that is really that should be even before, because so zoning regs for the most part really don't deal with residential. The only place we deal with residential is basically like the bulk and density stuff. So the setbacks and that kind of stuff in terms of what you can build on there from a residential side, but not from this. There's not a huge amount of touch points in terms of residential, right? And so if it becomes like, I know that, so I talked to them and they said, yeah, for the most part, yes, it's on there. Occasionally we've had to deal with it, but for the most part, it's always been resolved in a neighbor by neighbor. Cause they treat it even as like a civic, it's like me to you and whatnot. If this was something to take on and it actually became a big nuisance and stuff like that, like Tom Zanarini, who's a zoning enforcement officer, he deals with those complaints a lot for commercial. And they fix it right away. So even the Soapy Noble thing, once they learned that of the issue, they said, we're gonna fix it. There's been other ones where, from a multifamily shining straight across and they fixed it right away. So there is some mechanisms right there. It's all a priority thing, I mean, the other challenging thing with the city, you have eBay, right? They don't really have any regulations. I mean, there's from parking to lighting to everything, the amount of light coming from there, the airport. There's a lot of places already where this is a developed area and there's already a lot of light pollution that's not all of a sudden just going to disappear. Yes, I completely agree. There is a huge conservation side of this for migratory birds and everything else that go along with it. But there's also a lot of existing light pollution that's just not going to change overnight. Now, we have started to address that. Like you look, if any of you come down the hill right here, during the nighttime when they're actually playing,
Playing the games.
I mean, the new lights are pretty amazing. I mean, they're super bright. I mean, the technology is like, if this is your field right here, it will light up just the field. There's no trespass, anything beyond the field itself. So the technology has changed for commercial stuff and we require all that. That's why, for commercial properties, you need to show photometric plans and we look through those and those are all reviewed. You really can't do a photometric plan for a homeowner. So really the best way to deal with it is ask your neighbor, and see what they have. If it goes beyond that, then maybe there's something more that can come out of that, but we can look at it lots of different ways, but I do agree. I think probably the best bet is, if this is something of interest, then bring it up for Groton 2035. It
Well,
may not,
again, it's a long-term
Yep.
kind of a thing. I'm
Right.
agreeing with you.
Yep.
But if it's not there,
right.
so, yeah.
Can I ask a question? So let's say the town of Groton was to put in some kind of ordinance, that can't really be retroactive, right? Anybody has lighting is grandfathered, so it'd only be kind of going forward for new construction or?
I don't know. We'd have to see how it all be how they're written, whether it's more of a nuisance thing. I mean, but that also means that, and this is where it kind of gets, and I have to figure out more whether or not, like, so say you come in for an electric permit to put in a brand new light on your home. So building could look at it from the zoning side of things and say, okay, no, you cannot have, these giant spotlights here and you'd have to change it out to something else.
If I could just say, you could try to get that, but it won't get passed, okay?
Right.
Because it's the cost is too phenomenal, just like they can't legislate you changing from incandescents to LED
Yeah.
to reduce the cost. But the reality is that it takes time and you transition to it.
And also education.
And by shutting people down as far as on their availability, that they have to get out of it. They can't buy that light bulb anymore, so I get to buy a new LED thing, and that's what causes me to go get something that does all this for the new
I
technology.
just recall a few years ago, being at town council meetings and there was people distraught. There was aggressive use of light, but I mean aggressive neighbors aggressively shining spotlights. And I think a woman even moved.
Yeah,
But I remember there was some kind of a consistent issue. of
right. That's
discussion.
what I'm saying. That's what you got me to go back and research all of it.
Just as a comment, I've been to, if you've ever been to Sedona, Arizona, they have complete dark skies. Even in the middle of town, you can see the skies. It's unbelievable. And the streets are just dark and everyone manages.
Yeah, you have to kind of wonder, what would if we spend a lot of money on lighting a lot of streets in
It
Groton.
costs a lot of money.
Yeah, if you go, as soon as you hit Ledger, there's no street lights. So, what are we really doing here?
I think there was a period of time when the electrical people made a lot of money going around and.
Well, you got
persuading
Groton
everyone to have
Utilities.
tabs.
It's funding most of this.
Yep,
Yeah.
Got two points. One is, if the new businesses on Long Hill have too bright of lights, and that's being addressed, how is it that doesn't carry back over to Big Y? And then that,
That's a brand new building.
so it's the beginning of it and people are listening and they want to be good neighbors for
And
the
part,
town.
and really part of the complaint was that the, I guess what I understand from the complaint is that the interior lights were on well past closure. So that was the issue. So that's an easy thing to fix. You know, like it's similar to the lights over in the middle in the school field over here. So they're on timers. So no more, they have to be off a half an hour after the end of the game, period. If you've ever been, like, man, I go to sports all the time because of my kids, right? And literally the game, we were at Stonington High School and the game had just, it was Stonington, wherever it was. Literally the game ended. And as we're walking out, the lights went off. I mean, it was like 3 minutes after. So that a lot of them are set on timers to like click straight off. So there are ways to deal with that. And we do have some control on the commercial properties, especially new ones. But we do review and again, one of the challenges were that they were interior lights. You know, they weren't exterior, they were interior, but they were permeating through the windows. So that was an easy fix and said, nope. When you're shut down, you need the lights off. You can keep, you know, the sign on, but like the rest of it you have to turn off.
This might be a fun topic for Eco Fair, raising awareness, education.
I was just gonna say that this might be something, if this is something you're looking to pursue, this could be another topic for the Connecticut college, you know,
Right.
college students to look into and do some research of comparing and contrasting similar communities. Because yes, Ledyard is very, I live in Charlestown. We're a dark sky community because we have Frosty Drew Observatory. We also don't have any commercial. So it's very different. But in Charlestown, our skies are dark. But I can look at Westerly, it's bright. I look at Narragansett, it's bright, you know. But Charlestown's different because we don't have that commercial. We don't have the fishing fleets from Narragansett. We don't have the commercial, you know, so.
To be a compromise. You could also have light,
There is.
but use it well. You could also have, maybe it's still a bright community, but less bright.
Yep.
you know.
And that's why our regs, our lighting regs are really strong in terms of that. I mean, no, here they're very strong in terms of commercial. I mean, there is no uplights allowed. So like it was a project the other day and they want to do uplights. Oh, it'd be nice aesthetics. Nope, that's not allowed. The only place that there's any exception for that is actually ball fields. And that was part of the new regs because of no matter how good those downlights are for lighting it, if you're playing baseball or softball and you look up, you can't see anything. So you have to have uplights because otherwise you get bonked in the head because, so it's a safety thing. But for the rest, our lights are and we have a lot of control over the types of lights that are produced and in the shielding and the full cutoff and everything like that. So I think from a commercial side of things, yes, we do a really good job. We have little hiccups along the way, which we work to fix. The residential, yeah, I mean, there's a potential for it. So like I said, it might be something that the college students as another topic might want to look into.
So anybody that has a strong idea about this is welcome to write a paragraph that the students would make it a student project.
I guess what would be your recommendation as far as best way to input this concern into into Groton 2035?
Well, let's see how the joint commission meeting is next time and see if there's an opportunity to say something there. Again, part of it is weighing all of the feedback that we're getting from everywhere. And as has been told numerous times that the commission is not looking for 400 strategies because we'll just never, we want to be successful, right? And we did a report out, how long ago did the report out? Maybe a year ago on the conservation ones for the POCD, the old POCD 2016. And, out of those, maybe, we have, I don't know, we're less than 50% that we've been able to check off that list. So we want, going forward, the commission is looking for stuff that's actually tangible that we are going to make traction on. So that it's a balance thing. So, but absolutely. In the meeting there, if there's an opportunity there to bring this up as a topic, I would. If there isn't, if it doesn't seem right there, then there's going to be a lot of feedback. So maybe it could be just a letter and send it to us and we'll forward it to the commission and stuff like that. Not the commission, to the consultant. and we can add it that way. I think there's a lot of different ways to add this topic in there. But again, it's weighing a lot of things, you know, so we have to think about, you know.
I appreciate the topic coming up because it's one that you see bounce around nationwide. They talk about dark skies or the lack of for a very long time. And in one of the sheets that were in the our agenda for today, show the comparisons of different types of lights. And if you look at the ones that are shining up,
Mhm.
when you walk into Home Depot or Lowe's, that's what you see.
Mhm.
You don't see down lighting,
Mm.
protected lighting. You have, if you want that, you have to be educated prior to coming in to say, that's what I want.
Mhm.
Because otherwise you say something that's for an outdoor light that you want light on your driveway, you don't think about
Mhm.
all the other, it's not concentrated just there.
Right.
That's the kind of lights they're selling. So it's, I think, it's a good time for education also. So being part of the POCD, it's also as a statement in there that it's a goal, a worthy goal to consider this as a topic going forward and concerned.
Good, right? I'm gonna cycle back to a prior discussion we had on the elections and make a proposal that the council, the commission, authorizes a special subcommittee to the right three people now, that would sit down and interview each of the candidates on conservation topics, and I think I've somehow put together a set of questions, the responses, and then we've got our 10, 12 affiliated organizations that we have. And we can kind of, get it and spread it out there. I mean, something that gets us up at the front end of that. I mean, just a thought. Let me throw that out there as a proposal.
I'm skeptical of that, to be honest with you. It's kind of outside the scope of what our.
But yeah, I was thinking, is that even something we were allowed to do?
I don't
So
think.
before anybody's elected, you
Yep.
want to get their pulse on the issues of importance
Yes.
or.
What's your view on?
Well, if you want to go in,
lighting?
if you want that kind of, you'd be better going to the, either the legal women voters that.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say that, or else the town, or they last year, they actually had, or 2 years ago, they had each of the candidates that was listed on the ballot. Because we got some people running off ballot too, and, but they did an interview on, the town web, TV. And they had questions that were previously submitted. That would be an area that would be fair game in regard to how that they introduce, how they answer the questions and stuff. And if we had putting something into that line, it'd probably be better because each one of them was given, 10-minute to talk about their background and answer some specific questions and so their consistency. And then that was all videotaped and put on the town website or on the YouTube channel. Tony.
Well, let me ask maybe I don't know if a legal or.
I don't know.
procedural one.
I don't know if you can do it because I think you're starting to become, you're making sort of a political body.
Political.
Yeah,
Even if you don't choose, I think it would give you it might be interpreted that,
Looking for that.
yeah, I think so.
That GCA has done that in the past with every candidate. They sent them
Yep.
a list of questions and some candidates didn't even answer, didn't even respond, but they made a point of really getting to know each candidate and their stance on. So I'd say might be an avenue.
Yeah,
For
that's
pursuing-
really the
Yeah.
GCA,
Let-
they're
let them hear.
They're political.
they're a political
Yeah.
lobbying group.
All right,
You got shot
I'll
down there.
get with GCA.
Go right. Go
yeah,
for
I
it.
think that makes a lot more sense.
Chris is our liaison.
We should be meeting soon. I mean, there should be something brewing, I would say sometime in this month. It's gotta happen quickly because the elections.
Well, that's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Something that's,
So maybe we should discuss a list of questions that we might want included.
okay, so why don't we chat?
Okay.
We'll chat.
But
That
don't,
makes sense for the subcommittee to come up with the questions to feed to
That's,
GC.
Yeah.
that's one of the
Ask
things I
the
started with,
candidates.
is a set of questions, but.
That feels better to me than
Oh,
creating it ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's a special subcommittee or it's just on your own, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and that's fine. I think that's the better way to handle it, and that removes any potential.
So you don't think that the Conservation Commission should be a power broker? in the town?
I'm not saying that. I just don't know if you can be. So I would stay far away from that personally, but that's
Yeah,
me.
Yes.
Okay,
I have another item of new business, just that Anne, have you published that Anne and Roger made a
Oh.
movie?
yes, the
Mary
movie queen.
was showing. Tell us about it.
is this official business?
Well, it's about,
conservation.
yeah, it's about.
Remember,
Yes,
conservation.
yes, we made a movie. It is called Carbon Men Salvation, The Senator's Dilemma. It is about about climate change. It's not a documentary. I call it a docu-sci-fi because there's a time traveler in the movie that knows what happens if we don't pass legislation now in terms of climate mitigation, resilience, and adaptation. So there are local actors involved, and a lot of them will be at the showing. It's at Mystic Luxury Cinemas on Monday,
Hmm,
next Monday, 8.
the trailer is out
6:30.
there in the ether.
It is.
It's at the Mystic,
It's not work at the right thing. I have to
Mystic
fix
Village
it.
Cinemas?
The Mystic Luxury Cinema at six,
Okay.
6:30. It's actually it's a fundraiser for the League of Conservation Voters. So if you go to their website or
League of Conservation.
email me,
Voter?
I can send you.
Send it to everybody. Or-
I
Yes.
can't. You can.
No, he's supposed to send it.
I mean, send it-
But it's a personal thing, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's not.
I'm not gonna share it. Well, yeah, that's
No.
fine. Just send it to me and send it to me and I'll send it out to that group.
Okay. Yeah,
Gotta
Yeah, there's no
fix
issue with that.
Water tickets.
Yeah.
We donate extra too.
oh, good.
Good cause of the conservation, whatever.
Yeah, so we did that with the league because they had done such an incredible job with the climate bill last year that we all worked on together. So yeah, there'll be people from them. There'll be talk back after. So if you have any questions about the story or anything in it, it's based on our experience lobbying in Washington, DC. So-
Cool.
Interesting.
Thank you.
But we are novices, no. Not even in it.
You're in it?
So is Roger.
No, I'm sure Roger is.
Anyway, sorry.
The only thing I have is for you, Larry.
Uh,
So this is my follow-up. So last month you had shared the No Ink history.
Yes,
And you asked whether or not they had a copy of this at the library. They do have a copy of this at the library. However, whoever you got this from, if they're willing to donate another copy, they would love that. Because the one copy is in the historic archives and they would love to have another copy. So I talked to Jen and she said, so if you can't, you can't, but if you can convince whoever your mystery friend is, let's go with that.
I don't want to put it undue pressure.
Yeah, no, you don't have to, but I'm saying like they said they would happily accept and would love another. copy.
So what's the formula, the no ink?
You know, the knowing, what was it called?
No ink
The-
history, I mean.
Yeah, history, yeah,
the
of
building
of
doc.
Haley Farm, no ink, that whole thing, yeah.
But this, you're dealing with the town, history.
Yes.
The room at the.
Yeah, right now there's
library.
there's one protected. And but they were saying if you could get.
Be nice to have one to share.
but
And yeah,
they-
one that could actually,
Yeah, but you have to decide, do you want to give it to the town of Groton Library? Could you give it to Knowing
Yeah.
Historical
you don't have,
Society?
but like I said, you asked me to ask
Mystic
the
River
librarian, and I did.
The owner of it is a no anchor,
See?
so.
No.
So you just let them know that there's other alternatives out there.
Okay. I will pass that along to her.
You got it.
All right,
Well, that's all I got,
all right,
because I covered everything else that you guys, so.
very good.
I move we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, without objection, we are adjourned.
Excellent.
And it's
Bye,
now
Giselle.
Over. Oh, my God.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
You too.
The year